All right,
Yep.
Coach.
Yep, we'll take
Solid win there.
solid win. It's a good way of putting it. Can't thank our fans enough. As a coach and our players, the environment in here today was incredible, and can't thank enough on how big in building the program is the home court is. And tonight was this afternoon was just one of those games, maybe my first game, where we performed well and our fans got a chance to we had a vibe in there today. I guess I would just say it like that. And the quest is obviously that's nightly. The quest is obviously to have every seat in that place filled. And I know we have no students now, but I can't thank our fans enough, for coming out today. And I think it helps when your team's playing better. And we clearly are getting better. We were very concerned playing UMass. I've been very impressed with Frank's kids, and I know they had some guys down today, so they were a little undermanned. But the way their toughness, the way they play, the pressure defense, the physicality inside, the rebounding, we knew as a staff going into this game that it could be sort of like a bloodbath, because I think you have two teams that obviously are trying to, be physical, play physical, and we kind of thought the rebounding was going to be the number one thing, and kind of thought the turnovers would be number two. We took care of one, didn't take care of the other for most of the game, but when you shoot the way we shot, 14 made threes, we were very good from the free throw line for the most part all game, and we were able to handle the ball pretty well for most of the game. I think offensively we won the game. We didn't win the game with our defense today. We had maybe just enough, but clearly from an offensive perspective, the way we were able to shoot the ball and share the ball, some of the shots, even quite frankly, that went in, you were like, wow, this may be our day today, because we made some tough ones. But conference play, you take them any way you can. And, we were able to come back here and build off a really good week for our group. And, next thing is take a deep breath and move on to this next step, which is St. Bonaventure.
Open up for questions.
Archie, when you see a play like David made midway through the second half, grabs an offensive rebound, goes baseline, puts a layup in, fans come to their feet, that sort of winning play, you feel like that's becoming more and more of a
Yeah, I think anybody who's watched us, at least this group from the beginning of the season or not, you can see a lot more energy plays, 50-50 plays, game-changing plays. Starts, a lot of it with David. He's a rugged kid. He's played basketball in college. He mixes it up. But we have other guys now making more plays. And I think when you're putting a group together, you obviously have a vision, and you obviously see all these pieces, and you always see all these guys, and you think, man, we have a chance to be pretty good with this crew. But what you don't know is what they don't know. And I think just constantly just keeping the pressure on them to perform in practice and watch film and show the good evidence plays of what happens when it goes well. And confidence is a scary thing. I've said that earlier in the week. When you have it, you're world beaters. When you don't have it, you have no chance. And we have a lot of confidence right now. And a lot of it has to do with David's emergence as a part of our team rotation. And I think you can see as he plays, in my opinion, he's one of the more difficult people to play against in our league.
When you see Jaden too, we know how good of an offensive player he is. He's walking around with the chain after the game and wearing it with pride. It seems to be that's contagious.
He's getting better. He's really. I told him middle of the week, I'm really proud of him. He's really taking a slower approach. He's playing more consistent on both ends of the floor. He's not forcing as much, and he's really getting better. He's starting to feel a little bit more comfortable, and he's not trying to make every play that he has to. Defensively, he's really gotten better. In terms of being able, at some point, hopefully we can make him the guy that plays the other guy's best guy. But he's playing a lot longer, harder longer. And he went in there today, and I thought for the most part, 5 defensive rebounds. It was really important for our guards to kind of get in there and start mixing it up. And we were having our hands full in this game with the low post, the rebounding, and we needed some guards to go in and get a few, and he did.
Coach, 60% from beyond the arc today, just a shooting performance that we really just haven't seen this season. You sort of alluded to it. What would you say allowed the guys to spark like this? Luck, confidence, or has just been a long time coming?
I think when you have confidence as a team and you start to really share the ball and you start to understand what you're trying to do as a group, shots become more natural. You know where you're getting them from, you know where you're looking for them. And I do think that our team is a much better shooting team than maybe percentage, says. We've had a really hard time getting this team to move the ball, share the ball, inside out. And you're not getting good ones. And I think, there's probably a few in there you're going to look at and say, put your hand up, it was our day. But I also think there were some ones in there where guys are taking in rhythm and sharing the ball, and at the end of the day, they went in. And at home, sometimes, that happens where you can shoot it. We're a better shooting team overall from three than maybe our performance and percentage happens. I do think that we're getting better executing, we're getting better taking care of the ball, and we're getting better offensively in terms of how we're trying to play. So if you're smoother and kind of comes into rhythm, it was good. And we had to bounce back and forth in this game. This is a very hard game to play in. It's a very hard game to play in. Very hard game. I mean, every play, there's contact, on both ends of the floor. And, I just think in general today, us being able to loosen it up in terms of making shots, it was a huge deal.
And after the non-conference schedule that your squad had, including that 5-game losing streak going into December, you spoke a lot about how this team has to learn, has had to truly mature, and had to deal with a really steep learning curve. But to be 3-0 in conference play and to have really taken down decent opponents, did you expect to be in a position like this, or do you feel at all sort of surprised at how this has gone?
No, it's a game at a time. I don't think you jump in after Christmas and say, hey, we're going to win the first 4. I think the bottom line is coming back from Christmas, identifying some major things that needed to change, whether it's rotation, whether it's mixing David in full time, and just figuring some things out. Coming back from Christmas, I think just really trimming the fat and getting a little bit better. And, one win obviously feels really good after Christmas because it was a tough December. But then conference play starts and you get a new lease on life. You started over and you were able to win that St. Joe's game in epic fashion at the end. You go on the road, you find a way to do that one. Now you come home against UMass, who's terrific, and having a great year, and all of a sudden the building's lit up, like momentum, trying to build some momentum. And I'm not speaking at anybody, but any coach that watches us play on film has to maybe double take and say, what's going on right now with them compared to what they were? And one thing you're going to figure out is, oh, well, those guys weren't playing. They weren't in there. We're a much different team right now in terms of like who's on the floor. And health helps. And, those guys today don't have an all-conference player. It hurts when you don't have your good players. And I think, David and David, and just in general, having a more of a front court presence got away from us, in December. Not that it's the end of the world, but we're a much different team right now.
Archie, the offensive rebounds being what they were, you still outscored them on second chances. How much does that speak to the way you guys guarded them from the floor?
I thought we did a decent job of guarding them from shot defense. I thought things were hard. We didn't have an answer for Cohen. He's a really good player. He out-physicaled our whole front line, drew a ton of fouls. And they're a driving team. They're just going to, it's going to be bowling balls coming at pins down there sometimes. But I thought we challenged it well. We were down 9 on the boards at one point in time as we were talking to our team in the second half. And then maybe 5 minutes, 8 minutes later, it was like a 1 rebound margin. We started to get control of more long rebounds, loose rebounds. And at the end of the day, I thought that helped us continue not only to score, but to seal it. But we did a decent job. We were opportunistic on the offensive glass. I think with the way that UMass plays, you're forced to, put it down. You're forced. There wasn't a whole lot of passing going on. You're gonna have to drive the ball. So I did think we had some timely offensive rebounds that helped us. But able to go 38-37 on the glass with them. That's probably a number that got a lot closer as the game went on. I'm probably most proud about at the end of the day, just in terms of our team, 10 turnovers. We're starting to play a lot cleaner, a lot of pressure out there today, hard game to play in, and we were able to take care of it to 10 turnovers at home. If you turn it over 10 times, our team turns it over 10 times, we're going to be right there most nights.
Coach, 23 three attempts today, maybe one of the highest of the season. Do you get into the point expectancy, you know, a third of the threes is the same as half the twos? People get into that analytic.
3 for me, 2 for you?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how it goes. 33% from 3 is 50% from 2,
Yeah.
right? I think that equation works well when you have tremendous shooting. I think if you're emphasizing the 3 and you're shooting a ton of 3s, you're trying to obviously, you know, do it. We were getting out schemed and out analytically for a long time. We're taking more 3s now, and we're taking better 3s. David adds another 3-point shooter to what we're doing. We're starting to get more rhythm 3s. We're starting to understand where the shots are coming from. So we're taking more 3s right now. We also got 28 free throw attempts. And, you know, to me, that's probably the number one factor in our offense is turnovers and free throw rate. We are getting fouled at an unprecedented rate, and we're not turning it over as much. When you have those possessions, in terms of not turning it over as much, you're going to get more shots. But we're shooting more 3s, I think, because we're getting a little bit more comfortable. We're getting a little better on what we're looking for. But I'm most proud about when I see 28 free throw attempts and 10 turnovers. That's a physical team. That's a tough team.
Have you had a game before where your 3-point percentage was higher than your overall field goal percentage?
I don't know. That's probably
It's
one.
amazing.
Can't answer that question. I don't know, but obviously shooting. If you shoot 14 for 23 from 3, you better win. You know, you better win that game. You have to do some really, really odd things to not win when you make 14 threes. Now, are we going to make 14 threes every game? No, next time we play them, like I told him, we may go 0 for 23. I have no idea, but I'm proud of our guys just in terms of the way we're playing. I think we're playing with much more confidence, and I think we're starting to play the right way. We're not anywhere near defensively where we have to be, you know, to be a championship type play, you know, team, but only thing you can do is keep going at it here and working at it and getting better.
Just 3 health questions, Archie, on Brandon, on Louis, and then on Josephat.
Brandon, I'm unsure of, other than he had from what I could tell, some type of a gash in between his fingers and hands, required stitches at halftime. They wrapped him with a big, you know, bandage, and at that point in time, I would have probably put him back in the game, other than the fact that we were doing okay. I didn't really understand. Josephat right now is probably going to be done. We don't know 110% yet, but I just don't see Josephat helping us moving forward from a health perspective, just where he's at with things. He's having a really hard time, unlucky, or it just is what it is, but having a really hard time on a day-to-day basis being able to participate. So I don't count on him right now, and Connor Dubsky is recovering from, you know, pretty bad case of the flu. But he should be back on Monday.
And then on Louis, obviously.
Yeah, Lou, I'm hoping Lou's good. I told him to tape an aspirin to his knee. I think if he does that, he'll be okay.
You gonna text your brother 2-0 for the Miller boys today?
These guys told me to score the game. I'm always happy when he wins. I'm always happy when he wins, and I have no idea how their game went other than I heard they won. But it's a grind, man. It doesn't matter who you are. You know, a lot of people think probably we spent last night on Federal Hill and we were just enjoying. I mean, I didn't hear from him. So when I don't hear from him, I'm probably looking at that saying he wasn't very happy about the UConn game. So now he's probably back in action. So we'll probably catch up here if on the phone probably tomorrow at some point in time. But it's hard, man. Coaching's hard. I'm just glad I got somebody able to pick up the phone when I call, because everybody's trying their ass off right now, you know, to fight through it, and it's not an easy thing to do. All good?
Thank you very much.
Okay, everybody, thank you.
Thanks, Archie.